Peace of the Lord be with you. This is the Son of the Most Sorrowful YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about why you should embrace male loneliness. So I think every man, in order to become truly strong, has to go through a season of loneliness, right? The reason why I think that there is this trend of male loneliness, um, you got like involuntary celibates, you got people that actually cannot are in not in a position to um, get into a permanent relationship or a marriage, because they either have too many vices, they have too many distractions, or they're not actually becoming masculine as they're getting older. You got a lot of Peter Pan syndrome. I myself suffered from this for many years, so I know what I'm talking about. But the reason why I think you should embrace the male loneliness instead of running away from it, is because this is where you cut your teeth, man. You basically become sharper, you become wiser if you allow yourself to go through the process of seeking the Lord, working out, becoming healthier. All these other things will come to you. You know what I mean? But you have to suffer the lonely arc of your life. So it's worth it in the end, man. So if you lock in right now, embrace the male loneliness. Step one is you gotta seek the Lord, right? And this is not like a steps video. I'm just gonna go into like what has worked for me. You gotta seek the Lord, because while you're in that male loneliness state, I guess we'll call it that for right now, just to refer to it. The male loneliness state, I suppose, would be like the state where you're not really doing much of anything. You're kind of just going to work and coming back home to the video games. Most of you are probably good with that. I'm talking about the guys that like want to live a more fulfilled life, because the video games and the coming home, and it's the same thing, coming home and like drinking after work and just kind of going to sleep and doing it over, and just like you're in a loop of like you're in the hamster wheel pretty much, of just like going through life hoping for the best, and things aren't really turning into anything. You're going, you know, I went a whole decade of my life doing that, just living for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, partying, and the rest of the time I was just working. I was getting overtime. I was having like drinks after work. I was smoking weed like all the time. So I was nice and zapped constantly. And so the thing is, when you're in a state like that, you're actually in a state of like deprivation, physically, mentally, emotionally, because you're in vices and your dopamine system is fried. So you don't have what's called fortitude, which makes men withstand storms. Okay, it's a virtue that causes you to not be so susceptible to the stress in life. I mean, you'll feel stress, but will you cave under pressure? No, you won't. When you have fortitude, and so having vices, and again being in that loop of that hamster wheel, it causes you to not have fortitude, which is what you need to have a well ordered and established household, as a husband, as someone who has children, to be an effective role model, to be an effective provider, to be an effective decision maker. It takes a much stronger mindset. You know, a lot of times men, they just kind of, you know, have children on a whim, and they don't go through that season of preparation where they build strong habits, where they build discipline, where they build fortitude. And you see that their houses, a lot of the time, they're very disordered. You know, their children are very misbehaved, and these guys are larger by much unhappier than they could be, because life is happening to them as opposed to them having more of a, I wouldn't say a control on things, but in a way, yes, like a temperance, like a peace that exudes him during the hard times. So You got to get rid of your vices in the male loneliness. Otherwise, it's going to feel like, yeah, like you're in a prison for sure. That's a lot of the times. That's why I was going to, you know, smoking to drinking to going out and spending my money and like not going to the future, because life is miserable, life is hard. So that's why it's important. You got to seek the Lord, you got to exercise, you got to use this season to learn new skills, right? Right now is the time. If you're young, like if you're below the age of 25, you're still got enough time to learn how to work on cars, learn how to detail cars, learn how to work on bikes. You can find something that hasn't gone out of business for over the last like 200 years. And if you can even find something that hasn't gone out of business even longer than that, more power to you. Something that will contribute to the world, something that will be good for people, something that is not going to take advantage of them or, help them or take advantage of the fact that they have like a certain weakness towards something. You know what I mean? Like opening up a liquor store is not something I would consider to be like a very contributive way of going into business. You're better off opening up a tire shop, opening up a bookstore, opening up. There's ways to make these businesses thrive. You can even open a bakery or a pizza shop. You know what I mean? But you got to learn to do something well. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if you're in a relationship, like in the past, when I have been in relationships, I was in the music industry for a long time. And I got to a point where, as I got older, I was less inclined towards being in a relationship just because it cut into being focused on what I had to do as a musician, or in getting ahead and hustling and getting the new gigs, going to the shows. I'm not tied down to somebody who expects like a certain amount of attention on a given day, or expects me to be stuck to my phone texting them on a given day. Not all girls are like that, but I have had that experience to where it's just like, hey, I miss you, or it's just like, well, I can't. I gotta like shoot a music video. I gotta go to the next location. I got a gig an hour, away. Where I won't be getting off until like 2 a.m. You know what I mean? All these opportunities take up time, especially like during the weekends, especially working full time. So, relationships were less appealing to me. You know what I mean? So my advice would be like, if you have serious goals and you're trying to get somewhere and you're trying to make the best use of the time now, and like turn a negative, seemingly negative, the male loneliness state into a positive, where you're just like going monk mode or going ghost mode to rebuild or build your life. Do it single, man. Doing it single is like the best way. I'm not saying that there aren't those girls out there that will help you build and that or you will be understanding. It's just at this point in time, especially if you're living in Southern California, it's not the majority. You know what I mean? A lot of these women, they're already established themselves. They already have like jobs that pay relatively well. Because they're trying to get women into the corporate offices. They've been in Southern California, it's been like a women empowerment, feminism type thing. And so I would say just take the season, if you're in the male loneliness state, and hone yourself. So the thing is, it's not going to change, right? You're either going to continue your current patterns and continue on the hamster wheel, going to work, vices, and maybe you lose a job because of your vices, and then you go and find another one, and then it's the same thing. It doesn't change. The thing is, at the end of the day, you wasted all that time, or you used all that time to figure out that maybe that was not the thing to do, and now you're a lot older. Myself, I'm 31, and I've had to look at my skill set, and now I've been in my male loneliness, I guess, arc. you know, for a long time, I just got out of, I would say I got out of the male loneliness state just a couple of months ago. But before that, it was just like, oh, it's time to give up. It's time to just, I'm too weird, I'm too this, I'm too that, all kinds of excuses as to like why I'm not fulfilling my actual purpose in life. So that's the thing. If you embrace it and say, all right, I am alone, I might as well learn something. I might as well save my money and start a business. I might as well like work out and get in the best shape of my life. You know what I mean? If you can buck down for like a year like that and get healthy, and you will be surprised how big of a difference like you are in. 3 months ago, I was way underweight. I was like, I think, because even earlier this year, I think I was in like the spring of this year, 2025, I was 99 pounds. So there was a lot of work that I had to do in order to gain that weight back. You know, I had to start working out again. I had to like get more discipline. I had to quit smoking cigarettes because cigarettes were causing me to lose my appetite. That's why I wasn't eating. So, you know, being in December now, I'm in a lot better shape than I was at the time. Quit smoking, quit drinking. I'm going to church regularly. I'm receiving the sacraments regularly. I'm going to adoration regularly. Instead of hiring a bike mechanic, I mean, I can't afford one, right? There was a time back when I did earlier this year because I was working full time. But now that I can't, I'm just working on my bike myself and I'm learning how to fix it. And, you know, hopefully I'm able to do, I want to do motorcycles eventually. That'd be sick. You know, that would be cool. You know, I want to refrain from using slang and stuff like that. But, yeah, that's the thing, man. You got to embrace the male loneliness and you got to unplug from the pleasure, the convenience, and the comfort. It's not going to help, you know? So, if you're watching this video, I just want it to be a reminder that, like, if you're a man and you're having all these struggles, I also had all these struggles, and I'm in a lot better shape now. You know, now I'm starting this YouTube channel and I'm, you know, putting the signal out there. It's just like, beep, beep, beep. Men, let's go. Let's become men. Let's stop acting like little boys. So, you know, if this is something that resonates with you, stay tuned and watch for more. And this has been the Son of the Most Sorrowful YouTube channel. I pray that the peace of the Lord be always with you by the intercession of our Blessed Mother. And I'll see you next time. God bless.